So we've been having a good discussion over the last day or so about, females, value in females, kind of what you're paying for when you get close to breeding size, and whether or not it's better to pay a little less and get a visual het that's proven, or pay a little more and get a double visual that's unproven, not ready to breed yet. And this female here is a really good example of what we were talking about. So basically, I hope you don't mind me mentioning you. Barry from Pop Culture Pythons, who's in my Patreon, she was looking at whether or not she wanted to get a clown het pied combo female or a double visual clown pied female for her projects. And my opinion was, well, it kind of depends on, obviously, a lot of it has to do with pricing, but where you kind of want to put your risk at, right? So, and I know I'm going to have a bunch of clown het pied or pastel clown het pied females ready to sell that are proven after they lay for me this year. But she was also, she found some stuff online, and she found some double visual clown pieds that weren't proven, cost a little more than what a clown het pied female would cost. And so we were talking about, my opinion was, well, if you go with the cheaper option, which would be the clown het pied female, that's proven, at least she lays eggs. Even if you buy her right after she lays, and let's say it takes 6 months to make sure she's healthy, back up to size, and you breed her again in 6 months, and hopefully you have another clutch out of her within a year, you're at least guaranteeing that that female has laid eggs and will most likely lay eggs for you again. However, on the genetic side of things, it's, if you're breeding a pied het clown to it, your odds of hitting clown pieds there are a little smaller than if you had a double visual clown pied. So the positives would be the price and it being a proven breeder. The negatives being that it could take a little longer to breed it again, and your odds of hitting a double visual are a little lower than breeding it to a double visual. On the flip side, let's say you buy a double visual clown pied, and it's not proven, and it's not ready to breed yet. The positives there are that you have better odds to hit double visual clown pieds in those clutches. The negatives are that it's going to cost a little more, maybe not significantly, so I don't really count that as a big, thing. But you do have to grow it up. You're not guaranteed on how long it'll take to get that snake up to size, and you're not guaranteed whether or not that's going to breed for you anytime soon, or how long it'll take to do that. And that's where this female comes into play. So I bought this female. I wish I would have looked. I didn't look before I made this video, but it's been over a year and a half since I've had her. She has been a fantastic eater. She is growing rapidly for me. I bought her as a firefly, leopard, possible OD clown, pos het pied, 50% het pied. I did shed test her, and she tested positive for het pied. And I also believe, due to her coloration and everything, that she's probably OD as well. So at the very least, I have leopard, firefly, clown het pied here, and she's possible OD. Now, I've been breeding her for well over 12 months, and as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, what is that, 10 if I'm counting right? 9 or 10 locks that I've seen confirmed with, that's like 2 or 3 different males. The last time I measured her follicle, she was at 20, and that's the highest she's ever been. Now, I just put this male in here right before I started the video, so she's been sitting here, I guess cool seeking. She's not wrapping the bowl, but she's looking a little plump, especially because she hasn't, I don't even know if she ate this. I didn't feed her this last week because I saw her up on the cool side. This female's taken 18 plus months to actually get to this point where I think maybe she's actually going to lay eggs. Now, she's got enough fertilization there for it to not matter. I really don't know who's going to be the sire at this point. I think this male had more locks than any other males. I believe he had 4 or 5. So I'm hoping it's him because obviously he's a double visual clown pied. But buying her a little under breeding size and um, having to grow her up, was one hurdle there, and not, knowing whether or not she was a proven breeder. She wasn't a proven breeder, but having to prove out that she's actually going to be a good breeder is taking me 18 months. I've lost 18 months here. I mean, I could have taken that money and put it into, an OD clown het pied or OD pied het clown that was already proven, probably the same price as her, and I would have had one maybe working on a second clutch already, or I would have had a clutch out of it, and I could have already sold those babies and possibly even sold the female and had some nice clown pieds out of it. So raising up a female and trying to prove whether or not it's going to be a good breeder is a hurdle in and of itself. Whereas, let's say these females, I think I bought both of these females as proven breeders. And they're already going on their second clutches for me. So both of these females laid for me last year. They were, believe, already proven breeders. I bought them as proven breeders, and they were basically ready to breed when I bought them. They were, locking up in breeding for me almost immediately. They laid probably late last summer, and I didn't pair them up until recently because I didn't really want to pair any of my other males to them. But I started breeding that Super OD YB Fire Clown Pied male to them because they're both in the Clown Pied project, and they've already had 3 locks already in probably the last month and a half, 2 months. And I haven't even measured their follicles lately, but they're definitely growing. And so these 2 females are basically going to have 2 clutches for me, I would assume within 18 months, because they were already proven breeders. They were already big girls. I didn't have to do any growing. I just needed to keep getting food into them. And they're primed and ready to go. So those girls are going to be giving me 2 clutches in the same time that other girl hopefully gives me 1. That's a big difference. Now, in terms of pricing, it's a wash between those. I wasn't really factoring that into kind of my point here with those girls specifically. But currently, if you're on the market, there's going to be a big difference in price if you're buying a clown het pied and a clown pied. There's going to be $200, $300, $400, and you can probably get a clown het pied proven breeder female for less than. I just looked; they were going for probably around $1,000. If I sold, I have a clown het pied, 2 pastel clown het pieds, and a pastel pied het clown. All 4 of them breeding now. One is getting ready to lay here probably within a week. There we go. Well, she's not looking like it right now, but as you can see, she's kind of ready to pop. But she's going right now. I'm breeding a couple other ones, and I was looking at pricing, and they're basically $1,000 a piece as proven breeders. Whereas clown pieds, you might get lucky to find a female clown pied for $1,000, but it's going to be pretty tiny. If you're getting one that's adult size, I would assume, I didn't look at this, probably going to be $2,000 and up for an adult clown pied female, if not a lot more than that. I've never actually purchased a full-blown adult clown pied female. I have a couple that I purchased that were sub-adults, 500-600 gram range, and those were still $1,500 or $1,500, $2,000. So you have to raise those up. Luckily, like this one I bought last year, she already laid for me. She's already in shed after laying because she's eating so well. So that's her. This female, pinstripe clown pied het hypo, she's kind of been up and down with feeding. She's about 1,100, 1,200 grams right now. So she's getting to the point where I can breed her. But she's taken a little longer than I hoped for. This female clown pied het albino has been an absolute pig for me and eats frozen thawed nonstop, and I did just start breeding her. She was about 500-600 grams when I got her last fall. So you can definitely raise those snakes up, but I haven't seen locks with either of them either. I was throwing proven males in with both of them, and neither one of them have locked yet. Trying to see if I can stimulate more feeding and just get everything going with them. The clown pied female is definitely ready. And I haven't seen any locks with her yet. So, raising something up from sub-adult to almost adult size to breeding size um, can be a task in and of itself, because obviously, as you know, if you're buying older snakes, sometimes they can be a little more of a pain to get on the food on a regular basis. But you also don't know if they're going to lock right away. I still have my Confusion combo double het DG clown male, who's a year and a half old at this point, and I've maybe seen one lock out of him. He just is showing no interest in it. Whereas that clown pied male that I just showed you, he might be about a little younger than that other male, and I've witnessed 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. I've seen 22 locks with him on a bunch of different females over the course of like the last 4 or 5 months. So he was probably a little over a year old when I started breeding him. He's still eating. He's still locking up to everything. Just a fantastic animal, and luckily he's one of my more expensive males that's doing that. But you're not guaranteed that if you buy a snake under adulthood that it's going to breed for you. So there is definitely a positive to saying that you're buying a proven breeder animal, even if it just laid eggs, because you know that it does breed. You know that it does lay eggs. You know that it, assuming it lays healthy clutches, that's a guarantee that animal does that. And so the prospect of it doing that over and over and over again is pretty good. When you're buying an unproven snake, that's another question mark you have to throw into the mix. Can I get that snake up to size? Is it going to breed for me? Is it going to lay a nice big healthy clutch? And how long is that going to take? So there are definitely positives and negatives to both. If it was up to me, unless there were a bunch of codoms in the visual het, I would probably look for a double visual that's already an adult, but that raises sticker price a lot. But that's kind of where I'm at in my projects. Like when I bought those DG clown females last year from Chimera, they were hard to come by to begin with, so I had to buy them at 500 grams, 600 grams or so. But they all ate well, and they're all, except for one, are up to adult size at this point. Only 1 or 2 of them is really breeding well for me, though. So that's sort of the issue you run into there. Whereas the OD Vanilla Clown Het DG female that I bought, well, I believe was already an adult. I don't know if she was proven or not, but she took off right away, and she's already laid for me. While the other ones still haven't laid clutches and still aren't pairing up on a regular basis. So you really have to think it out. You have to weigh in the odds of how long is it going to take for this proven female to lay for me again versus will I be able to get this other female up to size in a good amount of time, and will she lay eggs for me? And then you factor in the price and the genetics and all that other stuff. But yeah, there's a lot to deal with it. I would be kind of on the fence either way. I couldn't honestly tell you which one is the better option. It's going to depend on where you're at with your specific projects. If you have a male ready, I would probably go for the more surefire thing. If you have a male that isn't ready, let's just say you bought a really cool powerhouse male, and he's only 2-3 months old. Let's say you bought a lightning pied for me. Let's say you bought this guy right here. This is a nice lightning pied male. He was just born. Had his first meal already. Will be ready to go in a couple weeks. Let's say you buy this lightning pied male, and you looking to breed obviously lightning pieds. Well, there's no point in you looking at buying baby female lightning pieds, or even proven breeder lightning pieds, because you can't use them anytime soon. It's going to be a year out. If you're going to be buying a lightning pied female, you probably are okay with not spending top dollar to buy an adult and looking at buying females that are 500, 600, 700 grams, and they'll probably both be up to breeding size around the same time. So that's another way to save some money. If your males aren't ready, there's no point in you buying proven breeder adult females. Um, but if your male's already, that might, kind of help you lean towards buying females that are already proven breeders.